Oh my god, the next few months are insane. Tears of the Kingdom, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy XVI, Armoured Core 6, Baldur's Gate 3, I'm going to explode. I've been following FF16 for a while now and I'm really excited for this one. I'm going to run through why I'm excited as well as some of its new features. Last time I was excited for the next big mainline Final Fantasy was 13 and it didn't quite live up to the excitement.
Well, I don't buy it!
14 is an MMO and I felt a bit more hopeful about 15, but it was mixed. It had come out of development hell with gaping holes in the story, sold as a later DLC or a movie.
Lies.
Now I'm seeing a lot of good signs that Final Fantasy XVI is going to be a good one. At the very least I don't have to buy a movie to see the first 2 hours of the story.
You're right.
At the end of March we got an update that the game has gone gold. That's left the developers with nearly 3 months to refine and polish up the game before release. This is great news. In today's games industry we see so many unfinished broken games. Remember Cyberpunk?
Sorry for this.
I mean, just look at the recent Jedi Survivor. That's almost unplayable on PC. At the very least, Final Fantasy XVI is going to have those 3 months of polish. Not to mention, it's going to be better optimized when it's being developed exclusively for PlayStation 5. Hey, I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subs, so any help would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Okay, hands down the number one reason to be excited is 16's producer, Yoshi P. This man took over Final Fantasy XIV after its catastrophic launch and led its development, transforming 14 into one of the most popular MMORPGs going. From the very start he was streaming live letters and giving us updates or sneak peeks stolen from the art team that we weren't supposed to see yet. He may have contributed to revolutionising the entire MMO industry, as today a lot more games companies host their own live letter equivalents. I feel like this guy understands what makes a Final Fantasy universe, all the classical monsters, big summons, deep stories and characters. I'm hopeful he can translate his MMO success into this new single-player Final Fantasy. Now, any Final Fantasy purist wants turn-based combat, and I'm afraid the devs have ditched it to appeal to younger generations. I don't really agree with this. I think the younger generations still love turn-based. Pokemon and Persona achieved a record sale for their latest entries. I would have loved some turn-based combat and a proper classic Final Fantasy job system, but if we're not doing turn-based, the gameplay is going to have to be exceptional to impress me, and to be fair, it does look really good. It turns out the new combat director has 20 years of experience at Capcom, and had big roles in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen and Devil May Cry, which has super slick, over-the-top, stylish gameplay, and that was my Game of the Year 2019. We see combat even just close to the same level as DMC5, it's going to be really good. But I can completely understand how this might suck for a Final Fantasy fan who doesn't play these kinds of games, and would prefer some good old turn-based combat. There's stagger bars on larger enemies. I really hated the stagger system in Final Fantasy XIII, but I feel like it was a bit more refined and worked a lot better in 7 Remake, so fingers crossed it's even better here. I just hope the enemies aren't too spongy. The main progression system takes the form of almost very light sphere grids from Final Fantasy X. And it seems the grids represent the different summons and you'll unlock more as you progress the game. Something else I like is that there's no arbitrary difficulty options like your typical easy, normal, hard. These options are baked into gameplay by the use of special equipment that autoplays the game in combat. I'll just be throwing that equipment in the trash, but I think this is much better than the straight up difficulty options. Visually, the big summon battles look just incredible, visually jaw-dropping. That said, I hope these big battles are not too gimmicky or filled with QTE events, but it looks like you get to fight the summons on foot in human form as well. I really like it when summons are centre stage and part of the story in a Final Fantasy. I think this is the first time summons are actually in the logo itself, Ifrit and Phoenix. That's an awesome design, and it's our boy Ifrit's time to shine. He's kind of always been one of the earlier summons you unlock. He's had some small moments, but I feel like he's been a bit forgotten about compared to other main summons.
Come to me, Ifrit!
We've got some sneak peeks at the other summons including Bahamut, and I really like his design. It reminds me a little of Final Fantasy XI, Chains of Promethea, where he was a badass. Gameplay and summons aside, when it comes to Final Fantasy, I find storytelling is probably the most important part, and I really like the look of the dark, gritty story we're getting here. Does anyone else get Game of Thrones vibes from some of the previews, or am I just going crazy?
It was a good speech. Didn't want to interrupt.
You're right. I don't know who you are anymore.
I mean, there's even systems in-game to help explain all the different houses or families and their connections or updates for the ongoing war. The story will start with the main character Clive in his 20s. There will be flashbacks of his teen years, and I expect a jump forward in time to his 30s. I hope there's not too much jumping between time, and I'm gonna have to stop watching all these trailers Square are pumping out because these are starting to spoil too much of the story. 2 months to go till we can judge 16 for ourselves. Hopefully it's a good one. Hang in there, Final Fantasy fans. Peace for now.